Go.
Hi.
Say it again.
Hi. Hello.
Hey guys, and welcome back to our MDL Week 3 recap.
Hi.
Shh. This is for our double week here for Week 4 and Week 5. So at the end of this week, we have the final standings here, with Azzy at 5-0 with a plus 15 differential. His coming in second place with a plus 13 differential, having lost one game. Donut also having a nice 4-1 record with only a 5-point differential. Podge has 3-1 and has yet to do his fifth game because Eric's computer went RIP and we have to sub him in for RKD. MSK rounds out for 5th, 27, and JJ also have 3-2 records similar to MSK. They all have actually 3-2 records with a plus 3 differential. And then Mascot rounds out the playoffs with a 3-2 differential with only a 3-2 record and a plus 1 differential. So if we look at the division here, the division standings, we have the Juicy Cocoa division run by Ozzy. We have the Lele division run by MSK, the Blue division run by Hiss, and the Feeny division run by Podge. And if you can tell here, I mean, there are 3 Cocoa teams, there are 3 Bulu teams, and then there's 1 Feeny team and 1 Lele team in the playoffs, which is really kind of unbalanced. So we can actually look at that. I don't know if you guys can see this well, how well you can actually see this, but this is the playoff picture right now. As the 1 seed, Ozzy gonna face off against Mascot if the playoffs were to end today. Hiss facing off against JJ in the 2-7 seed. Donut and 27 facing off in the 3 versus 6 seed. Podge and MSK finishing it off in the 4 versus 5 seed. So now the people outside looking in: Vergi, who needs a win versus Eric/RKD, and then this week Gorby either needs a big win or a lighter loss compared to Vergi, Jayhawk, and Mascot, and the same thing with Jayhawk. He needs a big win or a lighter loss compared to Vergi, Gorb, or Mascot. And Mascot, just to stay in, of course, since he's on the cusp of elimination, just needs to win. And then we can actually look at now a new addition, which are the divisional records, basically records outside of your division. And we're gonna do it Coco versus Lele, Coco versus Bulu, Coco versus Feeny, etc., 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 and then the overall record. So in this double week, we started off with 2 matchups: the Cocos versus the Leles and the Bulus versus the Feeny divisions. So for this week, Coco came out on top with a 7-1 record, winning 7 out of 1 games and getting a nice plus 13 differential. Bulu versus Feeny, Bulu is up 5-1, so Feeny can make it as close as 5-2, and Bulu has a plus 16 differential over the Tapu Fini, but 3 of those were forfeits, so think about it. That's 9 points of differential that they gained just solely by flipping a coin for forfeiting, because not many people played their games in these 2 divisions. So hopefully that we're back to single weeks now, we'll be able to do that. We'll be able to adhere to that schedule, because also during the second half of the season, a forfeit counts for more, because a loss is an 0-6 loss and a win is a 1-0 loss. So it punishes both players, because the winner doesn't get a high differential, a potential high differential, and the loser gets a ridiculous differential like knockdown. So that would be very helpful in tiebreakers and such. So anyway, moving right along, only one trade this week. That trade would be Bunny's Raikou for RC's Clefable. Interesting trade that he's going to drop Mega Guard for Mega Venusaur, so he makes his team a little bit less offensive and a little bit fatter. So I don't know, Raikou was really good, I guess. I thought Raikou was good. I don't really feel that it's Clefable worthy, but then again, Clefable is so useful. Rocks, knockoff, calm mind, stored power even, like, you don't know. Now, RC has gone full meme mode now that he's chilling at 5-0, because he's dropping Entei for Lediba. Gorb drops Slurpuff for Togetic, a very good move on his part, because Slurpuff doesn't really work that well in draft format unless you really prep your entire team for it. And then, capitalizing on the meme 4 minutes later, Donut immediately picks up the Entei that RC just dropped for his Smeargle. So those are the transactions for week 4 to 5. And from there, I think we can move on to our replays, actually. So our first replay here is going to be the OMG Im Jesus play, and we're actually going to skip around here. This is Gore versus Mascot. We're just gonna let this thing run. So we got Cresselia here, right? This is where it starts. So Mascot's obviously gonna switch out into his Spirit Tomb. Cresselia goes for the Calm Mind here. Gore does the right thing, goes for the T-Wave, avoid the Sucker Punch and whatnot. Mascot goes for the Trick, tricks the Choice Band onto the Cresselia. Good play on his part. He goes for the Pursuit, but gets fully paralyzed. So much, that sucks, right? So let's run that back. So yeah, got fully parried on the Pursuit attempt. So now Gore brings in Charizard. This is Charizard X, because Mascot obviously has Charizard Y, and he knows that. So Mascot's gonna, Mascot's gonna go into his wall Slowbro, right? No, Gore predicts that and goes into Thundy, but Mascot is a Jesus and goes straight into Lando, probably Scarf Lando, and Gore's gonna switch out into Mandibuzz, and predicting that, he predicts him to go into Magnezone, and then finally, he doesn't even predict the Thundurus to come out and just go straight for the Volt Switch like a king. And then it just continues here. He goes for the Pursuit again on the Cresselia, even though it's Choice Lock, so it's not as big of a play, but that's your Im Jesus play of the week, I guess. Then we move on to the Hideous play of the week, which goes to Bunny here. MSK is going to bring in Toxapex. When is he going to bring it in? Here we go. Electros versus Raikou. MSK goes straight for the Coil, so this is going to be a big problem for Bunny's team now. No, but he's got the Reflect here. So now Electros is not really doing that much to his team. Even to Celesteela. So this is, I mean, it doesn't really seem like he goes for many physical attacks, but because Bunny got the Reflect up, Gliscor and Terrakion really didn't have a place in switching in, and so for a bunch of turns, Bunny was able to to impose his will, aka bring his Raikou back in on the Gliscor and make things take rocks damage along with chip damage. So, it's underrated, but it's a nice heat play there. A Light Clay Reflect Raikou with 3 attacks, which is pretty cool. So then we'll move on to the Choke of the Week. The Choke of the Week goes to Gorv here versus Ozzy. So let's take a look. Cresselia goes for the Calm Mind, right? Ozzy does not EV his Azu to be faster than the Cresselia, so now he goes for a Banded Knockoff. This is Banded Adamant Knockoff, and it does not kill the Cresselia. So Gorb did a good job here, added 12 speed EVs to speed creeping his Cresselia. So that only did 63%. It's going to do even less after the second knockoff because his item is gone. So now all Ozzy has is to Toxic the Arcanine, right? He's going to Toxic the Cresselia in order for him to win, because I don't think anything else on his team, except for an SD Gallade, can do anything to the Gorb. So Ozzy goes for the Morning Sun here on the Thundurus' Thunderbolt, and he's thinking, oh, it might be Scarf or it might be Setup, so at least I can stall. I scouted for the move, so I'm gonna recover again. But nope, Gorb goes for the all-out pummeling. So at this point, I felt like I lost. I choked. So Gallade goes for the Ice Punch here, trying to will down the Thundy. Ice Punch. Boom. Goodbye. So he's going to switch out into his Mandibuzz. That lets me go into Nihilego. Go out, get up a Power Gem, just in case he wanted to defog turn 1. Then I'm going to get my rocks up here. He does not defog. He just roosts. I go for a Power Gem again, and he decides to go for a Foul Play instead of a defog, which is interesting. But either way, I'm going to go for the Power Gem, knock him out, get my Beast Boost. So at this point I'm thinking, oh man, I got +1, but it's really not going to be enough to knock out this Cresselia. So I'm just hoping for a crit here. I go for the Power Gem. I do not get the crit. I get 53%. So think about this. I have one more Life Orb hit, and Gorv can easily just recover, and I'll only lose 3%, so he'd be down to 72%, and he'd be fine. But no, he goes for the Calm Mind here, and my Nihilego is able to wipe out the Cresselia, thank goodness, because then the Thundurus dies to rocks, and that is simply a GG. So Gorv had that game in the bag. I felt last Mon Cresselia was going to win him the game. I did not have Waterfall on the Azu or Toxic on the Feeny because Cresselia isn't affected by terrain because it's levitating. So that is our choke of the week. So, sweep of the week? I don't even I don't know if we had one, but this is one of the interesting replays of the week. So Podge versus 27. So Podge leads off with Mew, as 27 leads off with Darmanitan. He switches in his Sylveon. It does not take that Flare Blitz well. It does 84%. So now 27 makes a good play and U-turns here on the T-Tar to avoid any pursuit shenanigans and to do a good amount to that T-Tar. Now in comes Lucario, and Podge is obviously going to switch out into his Komomo as the Lucario goes for the SD. So now Podge is in a terrible situation. But for some reason 27 switches out here. And that's what I don't get, because 27 could have at least waited to see what he'd bring in on the Sylveon, because he was going to sack the Sylveon 100%. So now the Zapdos is here. But now Podge can bring in the T-Tar. And 27 should have at least scouted for this with either Zygarde or Blastoise, because boom, down goes the Zapdos, and now he's in trouble. 27 goes back into Lucario as Komomo comes out. Lucario goes straight for the high jump kick. I don't know why he didn't high jump kick. Is it because he's adamant? Is it because he's adamant? That's maybe why. So now Komomo goes for the Brick Break. Doesn't do anything to the Zapdos. The Mega Blastoise. As Komomo goes for the Outrage, just 35%. As Blastoise goes for a Scald for some reason. No Ice Beam. Another Outrage comes up from Komomo, and Blastoise goes for the Ice Beam finally to knock out the Komomo. But Komomo already did his job and inflicted a lot of damage on the Blastoise as the... I'm going too fast. As the Scizor U-turns to kill the Blastoise, and then Podge goes into Mega Aggron here. 27 goes to Darmanitan, doesn't U-turn out. I guess he was afraid of the chip damage or the rocks, but Aggron goes for the Earthquake here, so now he should get some chip here. I felt like Coil was not the play, because all he needed was to chip the Aggron down, and then I felt like High Jump Kick Lucario could beat a regular Scizor along with Weavile, because now he's going to rest here, and basically Aggron has Ice Punch, and he's not going to get 1,000 arrows here. Yep, and down goes the Aggron, so now he has to Flare Blitz with Darmanitan. It doesn't kill. If he just 1,000 arrows regularly, he would have been fine, and it would have been all good. This Darmanitan would go down. He would have been forced to go into T-Tar or Mew, and then he would have, been forced to click something that could bring a free switch into either, like, I guess Lucario or Weavile, but if the Mew is Will-Whip, then again, it doesn't matter, so I don't know. So down goes the Darmanitan, the Aggron to the Darmanitan's Flare Blitz, and now into Mew we go. Not Scarftar, but Mew. Mew is faster. It has speed, so this is a little bit more an offensive Mew, as Weavile comes out. And Podge is prepared because he brings his trusty Cobra Berry to eat up that knockoff hit. It does 74%, and that seems to be banned Weavile, so that's not going to be able to knock out Mew with the Cobra Berry. Jesus Christ. So now we've got Lucario on deck here. Mew is faster, goes for the Aura Sphere, as Lucario has no choice but the SD and just hope for E-Speed. Yep, E-Speed here. Into T-Tar we go. And Podge is going to be able to safely knock him out with a Crunch. A crit, so E-Speed would not have done the job, but that is a GG. And boom, Podge is able to take it 2-0. Then we move on to the other replay of the week. I think this is the premier replay of the week. It is me versus MSK. This was a really fun game, fast-paced game. So we'll see how it goes, if my computer will ever load. But I lead off with Galvantula. He leads off with Gliscor. He goes into Fortress straight up. I go for the HP Ice, not wanting that Gliscor to come in for free, but he gets the red card out. I go for the Power Gem here. Does 62 to the Fortress. He gets his rocks up. He goes into Pikamuku. I'm going to get my own rocks up. And now I'm going to switch out into Azu here, as he goes for the Recover, wanting to scout the damage. I'm going to click Play Rough. It does 48%. Remember, this Azu is Fairyum Z Belly. This is not Fairyum Z Belly Gem. It's Fairyum Z Toxic. So he goes for the Reflect here. So then I go for my Fairy Z move. I highly doubt the crit mattered because, Z move is a little bit over double the damage. So it's like 190 base power. So it might have been enough to kill in the Reflect. So now he brings out Gliscor here. Since I have nothing for this, I'm going to go into Reuniclus. He goes for the Poison Jab. That does a lot. And I highly regret making this Reuniclus Wise Glasses and Trick Rooming, actually. So I'm going to go for the Psychic. It only does 49 pathetic % as Gliscor hits me up with the EQ. So now I am forced to go into my Feeny here because it's the only thing that can take a hit to stall out Trick Room turns. I go for the Nature's Madness, does 32%. As he goes for the jab, does 47%. I'm going to go for the Moonblast here, do 31% as I get the special attack drop, doesn't matter. As he roosts for some reason, wasting a turn of Trick Room to my benefit. So I'm going to click that as he goes for the Poison Jab, and down goes the Feeny, and also down goes the Trick Room. So now I can go into Gallade here. And I'm going to just Mega Evolve and click the Ice Punch, and down goes the Gliscor. Into Absol we go. I'm not messing around with this thing having Play Rough, so I'm just going to sack my Galvantula here. It's the least expendable member on my team, as he goes straight for the Play Rough, as expected. And now he's going to go for the knockoff in order to knock out my Galvantula. So I'm going to bring in Azu, obviously. And he's going to sack his Fortress to the knockoff. I just predict that. I predict that just in case he wanted to go Volcarona or something like that. So he goes into Goodra, I switch into Gallade knowing I can take a hit fully well. As he goes for the Sludge Wave, I needed to save my Azu to live a hit from the Absol, and that's what I do. He goes for the Close Combat, I get the Gooey off, he brings in Volcarona, so now his only hope is for me to either burn with Zen Headbutt or like not have Stone Edge, but luckily I am carrying the Stone Edge tech, and boom, down goes the Volcarona. So now he's going to bring in Absol. I'm going to sack off my Gallade easy. And obviously here, okay, I brought in Nihilego just in case it would live a knockoff for some miracle, because I don't like to calc. But I should have realized this thing has 20 defense, so it's just going to fall over to the knockoff. So now it's just all about, once again, hitting my Play Rough. And his Edge does not crit, and I'm able to live and hit him up with a Play Rough, and that is a GG. A nice, fun, fast-paced game versus MSK. So that's the end of our recap for week 4 and week 5. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.